Right then, so here's a list of possible next managers for Real Madrid. Of course, Xabi Alonso, they're one of the favorites. Disappointing not to see Steve Nicol included based on some of the recent developments on this show. Gab Marcotti still with us. Gab, we had Gustavo Hoffman from ESPN Brazil on yesterday's show, and we were talking about the idea that now in Brazil, people are starting to not expect that Ancelotti might not come, but at least worry about that. Is there any chance that Ancelotti actually stays at Real Madrid despite all this talk of him leaving?
Well, look, his contract expires in June, right? And as of right now, there's been no talk, no intention on the part of the club to extend his contract. So I think in the minds of many, this is a done deal. Now, if they go on a run, if Florentino says, "Oh, I can't find anybody better," Carleto, please stay with us. You know, if they win another Champions League, if they tug at the heartstrings. I mean, Carleto's he's a big emotional teddy bear. I'm sure there is a good chance that he'll stay if he's offered a new contract. But if he's not offered a new contract, he's going to look elsewhere. Every indication is that Real Madrid are going to make this generational change. They've brought in all the younger players. You know, it's time to move on, to write a new chapter. And so I would expect they would go with not just a different manager, but probably a younger manager who's going to bring something different. And obviously, Xabi Alonso is going to be in that mix. So all those names there. You know, I find some like Raul and Guti probably more plausible than others, like Mourinho or Klopp, or indeed the return of Zinedine Zidane.
Okay, some big names there. A big job in the Brazil job. You think if you're Ancelotti, you're looking at this Brazil job, it's maybe not quite what it was a few months ago?
In what sense? That Neymar is...
Well, they lost their last two games. Neymar's injured.
Well, look, I don't think Carlo Ancelotti has ever ducked a challenge. If you look at the clubs that he's managed, yeah, they're big clubs, but they're all high-pressured. So I think he'll probably see it as a challenge and something to top off his career as a manager on his resume, managing arguably the most iconic country when it comes to World Cup. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult, and they're obviously going outside of Brazil for a coach for a very good reason for the first time, because they're getting frustrated. But I certainly I hope I agree with Gab. I think Real Madrid for sure are going to look to move on, and you know that ship is definitely sailing in the direction away from Ancelotti. And I think Brazil is just a great challenge for him, and you know, without the day-to-day rigours and the pressures of managing where he is and where he has, I hope he goes down there and it's going to make watching Brazil even more interesting than it is now, just to see if he can make a bigger impact than some of these great Brazilian coaches in recent years that promised so much, and it's all sort of fell flat in the big tournaments. So hopefully he takes that job, and it'll be an interesting watch.